the people you talk to that gave you the idea that this would be really cool and change the world, that's your user stories. And so you just go get more of those. And it all starts with talking with one person, and then you talk to the next person.
And
And
how
then
you
the
deal
next.
with bias, Oh, this woman is in
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Tell us the good, the bad, or the ugly, not only of being a tech entrepreneur, but also be a female tech entrepreneur. Is that easy to be a millionaire in tech? Because people listening, they see, it doesn't matter what I say here, people are listening and say, okay, 1 out of 5 millionaires are from tech, 1 out of 5 are for property. I'm going to property, I'm going to easy to tech, and I'm going to become a millionaire so easy. What's the secret? Good, bad, and the ugly.
Sure. So I'll start with the reality. It's not easy to become a millionaire at all. It takes hard work, it takes dedication, and it takes vision. Most millionaires, it's less about what industry they get into and more about how they build their business. I built Foresight with an exit plan in mind.
Wow.
And whether or not I'm actually going to sell it or it is a totally different story, but I've structured the business in such a way for acquisition so that I know that I am not actually an integral part of the business. And so that I did that intentionally. Whereas if I was going into coaching, I would be an integral part of the business. And so the burden of sales would be on me. The burden of delivery would be on me. And so it's less about the industry and more about how businesses within those industries tend to be set up that
And how you
actually
scale it, right?
Exactly. It lends itself to easier scaling. And I say easier with sort of big air quotes here because it's just naturally progresses into that kind of scaling. As a female in tech, I can tell you it's 10 times harder, just like everything kind of feels to regardless.
I'm aware.
But I'm also a mom. I also still have my corporate position.
Oh
So
my God.
yeah,
Wow.
I'm juggling a lot of different things. And I'll tell you this piece, not only am I the tech founder, I'm also the lead developer. I coded Foresight.
Wow, you coded.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I built the AI. It doesn't use third-party integrations with
Oh,
ChatGPT.
wow. Very impressive. You coded
So
yourself? My
well,
goodness.
yeah, because I have an
Wow, the
MIT
MVP.
certification in data analytics and predictive analytics. And so it was very important to me, which, kind of made me step off the path of the typical tech founder. It was very important to me that the AI algorithm was based on privacy, but also ethics and cultural representation. And so I couldn't have gotten that through a third-party integration. So depending on what's really important to you in your business, it's almost impossible to go the traditional route. So Foresight also does not accept investor funding. It's owned entirely by me because I don't want to be beholden to investors.
Wow.
So just to kind of put the nail in my own coffin on that one.
No, not necessary. Maybe it could be your best, the best help.
Well, and that's kind of the thing is you have to decide what's really important to you. And for me, getting to $1 million quickly through investor funding was less important than keeping the values that made Foresight HQ
Absolutely.
what I wanted to bring.
Absolutely.
And that's not to say that folks who take investor funding are less than, by no means. It's just that I wouldn't have been able to achieve the goal that I had. Other businesses absolutely will be able to achieve the goals that they have with investor funding. So it's finding what's important to you and what works for you and what keeps you motivated. And when you have sort of those puzzle pieces put together, while it's not an easy road, it is a road that you can follow.
Oh, you are the perfect person to ask you this question because we do have a lot of listeners, tech entrepreneurs, because a lot of tech millionaires show up to a podcast. So you are the perfect person to ask you this question because we have on the space. Like I said, I'm on the space. So I talk with a lot of startup founders. And the typical struggling person, this is how they look like. They are software developers, same like you, they can write code. But the step number one, developing the MVP, minimum viable product, they forget about the M, and they, because they like coding, they create, and then that they create this huge elephant, because they are software developers, they hate marketing, they hate sales, so they're not going out to ask the market, to ask the people what kind of product they want to buy, in what form they want to buy,
Yeah.
trying to adapt it to the client's need, right, and create
Mhm.
something huge that they think that will change the world. Go and talk with all the client and talk to people, go out and talk to people, um, find out what the market wants and adapt to it, right?
Yep.
But you are one of the exception, okay? Because to be clear, the data of this podcast, you are a data girl, so you know the data of this podcast has shown that actually the tech millionaires are more sales and marketing
Yep.
orientated than the developers. They especially in tech, they go out, they know about marketing, know about sales. They ask a lot of people what kind of product they want, what they're looking for, how much they're willing to pay. And after they have gathered all this information, they go back and they develop something small. Maybe they pay a developer to do it, and they
Mhm.
scale it like that. And that's the tech millionaires that come here. Very rare. It comes someone like you that is tech entrepreneur, but actually write the code. But that's the other thing, that actually the software developer successful that come to this podcast to talk about tech, they spend the whole podcast talking about sales and marketing and very little about coding. Because if you want to go to 0 to 1 product
Yep.
market fit, it's a marketing exercise.
Yep.
And so my question to you, Kelsey, is how you being a data girl, so introverted, because it goes with your personality, otherwise you won't become a coder or a data person. How
True.
you get out of your comfort zone and actually think what you think. Because when I say go out and talk to people, seeing you like sharing, and I'm like, wow, how she managed to change. Because this, I think, this is the biggest barrier, the biggest challenge that
Yeah.
we have with tech founders out there, especially being a girl. So tell us a little bit about your journey. When do you decided that if you're gonna be a geek girl behind your computer writing code, this thing's not gonna work and you have to go out there?
Yeah. So it's been a very interesting ride. I will say that I had no idea I was going to get into computers at all. I knew that I was techie. I built my first computer with my father when I was 3 years old. I played with computers, but did
Wow.
not code computers. But my
Wow.
dad was a software engineer.
Oh,
And
wow.
so when I went to college, I knew that I wanted to go into psychology. I actually wanted to get my PhD in operational psychology. But I loved computers, so I went ahead and took my computer science class, and then I got my master's degree in couples and family therapy. And I went on to just do therapy. And I actually specialized in adolescent females who had experienced sexual trauma that resulted in drug use. So very
Oh,
heavy
wow.
topic. And
Very
I burnt
specific
out.
also, eh?
Yeah, very specific, very heavy. So I burnt out really quickly, and my agency offered me the opportunity to transition into administrative work and implement their electronic health record. And so I got to feed into some of that technology and my love for computers while still getting to care for the clients by making the clinicians' lives easier. And then that transitioned into the data analytics where I got to see how, what variables make it more likely that someone's going to succeed in treatment, and what aspects of our programs were really most effective with people. And that really started to spark for me these kind of marriage between data and humans and where we start to do things. Well, and that's kind of where the switch flipped for me because I did have a minor in marketing, so I already had some background, but I started getting invited to do presentations. And
Mm.
I started getting
Wow, you also
invited.
speak it as well. My goodness,
Yeah.
you're taking all the boxes. You're gonna do
So,
very well in life. Yeah.
I've been very, very fortunate. I've been very fortunate.
Yeah.
And
Emotional intelligence. That's what
yeah,
I call
well,
what you have.
and exactly. And the background in psychology has really helped me with that because I
Mm.
can read people. I'm extraordinarily introverted, but I can read people and I kind of put on my theater kid mask. I play a part when I go up on stage. I'm not, I'm
Wow.
still Kelsey. I'm still authentic.
But we have
But
to put a performance out there. This is I'm
exactly.
on the space.
Right,
If
right.
we're
So
speakers, it's a show. Some
exactly,
people
that's
says
it.
to me, Harry, why do you dress so weird like this all the time with this some shiny clothes? And I said, look, this is part of if
Exactly.
you're a
Yeah.
speaker, this is like a magician. You're not only talking, you are putting a show out there. You need to dress a little bit different. This is how this works.
Exactly, exactly. So, I've spoken keynotes in front of 2,000 people, and
Hmm.
all you have to worry about is the row in front of you, and it's
Hmm.
10 people, and that's all you worry about. And
I've done it.
so
It's a scary thing to
it
do.
is
Yeah,
scary.
it's
It
not the
is
same
scary.
thing, 100 people, 200 people, 500 to 2,000
Yeah.
people, because I've done it. And, when you have these big screens and you see your face so big
Yeah.
and you say, what is the people, You used to see to the eyes of the people. And then when you have 2,000 people, you need to look at the red dot, which is a camera pointing at you and it's implying, and then
Which
you
camera
cannot
has the
see
light?
anybody. You freaked out because it
Yeah,
happened to me on the
exactly.
first time of a big gig. So
Yeah. And with
it's not
everything,
easy.
right? How do you get into Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. Every
Mm,
time you do something, one more time, one more time, one more time, you're going to get better at it. Your brain is going to realize, like it's an actual psychological thing.
mhm,
Your brain is going to start to get used to that
mm,
fear. It's going to say, wait, I am safe here. Nothing bad happened, or what happened wasn't so terrible. And so the anxiety starts to decrease. It's literally
mhm,
exposure therapy, literally
mm,
exposure therapy.
mm,
So when I talk to other developers who really desperately want to make something that changes the world,
mhm,
you have to start with talking to people. Most software developers are familiar with Jira. It's a ticketing
mm,
system, back-end support system. So, well,
mhm,
guess what? You still need user stories in order to fuel your Jira system. In order
mhm,
to fuel all of the changes, all of your change
mhm,
management, you still start with user stories. It's just that
mhm,
you're not used to having to go get those user stories. You get them
mhm,
from support tickets. Well,
mhm,
the folks in your audience are your support ticket. The people you talk to that gave you the idea that this would be really cool and change the world, that's
mhm,
your user stories. And so you
mhm.
just go get more of those. And it all starts with talking with one person, and then you talk to the next person,
And
and
how
then
you
the next.
deal with bias. Oh, this woman is in.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.